Hello, welcome back for our read aloud. The Magic Treehouse, Dinosaurs Before Dark by Mary Pope Osborne. Today, we're reading chapter 4 called Henry. Jack gasped as Annie reached out her hand towards the pterodon. Oh no, he thought. Annie was always trying to make friends with animals, but this was going too far. Don't get too close to him, Annie, Jack shouted. Annie touched the pterodon's crest, and she stroked his neck. She was talking to him. What in the world is she going to say? Jack wondered. He took a deep breath. Okay, he would go down too. It would be good to examine a pterodon. He could take notes like a scientist. Jack started down the rope ladder, and when he reached the ground, he was only a few feet away from the creature. The pterodon stared at Jack. His eyes were bright and alert. He's soft, Jack, said Annie. He feels like Henry. Henry? Who's Henry? Jack snorted. He's no dog, Annie. Feel him, Jack, said Annie. Jack didn't move. Don't think, Jack. Just do it, Annie said. Jack stepped forward. He reached out very cautiously. He brushed his hand down the creature's neck. Interesting, Jack thought. A thin layer of fuzz covered the pterodon's skin. Soft, huh? Said Annie. Jack reached into his backpack and pulled out a pencil and a notebook, and he wrote, fuzzy skin. So there you go. That's what he wrote in his notebook. Fuzzy skin. What are you doing? Asked Annie. Taking notes, said Jack. We're probably the first people in the whole world to ever see a real live pterodon. Jack looked at the pterodon again, and the bony crest on the top of its head was longer than Jack's arm. I wonder how smart he is, Jack said. Very smart, said Annie. Don't count on it, said Jack. His brain's probably no bigger than a bean. That wasn't very nice to say. No, he's very smart. I can feel it, said Annie. I'm going to call him Henry. Jack wrote in his notebook, small brain. So Jack thinks this bird's probably not very, dinosaur bird, pterodon, it's probably not very smart. He thinks it's as smart as a little tiny bean. But Annie thinks it's very smart. What do you think? Jack looked at the creature again. Maybe he's a mutant, he said. A pterodon tilted his head. Annie laughed. He's not a mutant, Jack. Well, what's he doing here then? Where is this place? Said Jack. Annie leaned close to the pterodon. Do you know where we are, Henry? She named him Henry. Same name as her dog. She asked softly. The creature fixed his eyes on Annie, and his long jaws were opening and closing like a giant pair of scissors. Are you trying to talk to me, Henry? Asked Annie. Forget it, Annie. Jack wrote in his notebook, mouth like scissors. Did we come to a time long ago, Henry? So here's Jack's notes. Mouth like scissors. Is this place from long ago? Suddenly, Annie gasped. Jack! Jack looked up. Annie was pointing towards the hill. On top stood a huge dinosaur. Ooh, what kind of dinosaur do they see? On the top of the hill. Do you know what kind of dinosaur that is? Uh-oh. You're going to have to find out until next week and see what kind of dinosaur this is. So, I have a few questions. For chapter 4, what does the pterodon feel like? Describe how he feels. So, how does he feel? Next question. What does Jack write in his notebook? What is something he writes in his notebook? What do you remember that he wrote? All right, I'll see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.